All right, here we are. Just finished up over at Lake Champlain. Didn't have the greatest event. Caught plenty of fish. Just it was few and far between on the bigger ones that I needed to do well in the event. I thought I had a pretty decent game plan. I had some smallmouth and some largemouth, and I thought, okay, day one, I'm gonna try to beat up that largemouth stuff. It looked like that we were gonna have a little bit of clouds and a little bit of wind, and I thought that was gonna be a good combination. Turns out it was almost flat slick, and it was basically sunny all day, which was not the greatest for the type of largemouth that I had found. I'd found some that, you know, were more in grass and reeds and stuff like that, and I could not get them to go on day one on topwater and on chatterbaits and stuff like that. So I ended up getting in one area. I found this one big laydown, and I think I caught 8 fish in a row off of this one big isolated laydown. And on that fish, or that area, was I was just throwing a 6-inch Senko. I wanted to throw something that wasn't gonna fall real fast, but it still had a bigger profile, and that's why I went with this. It had a Gamakatsu design. Well, Gamakatsu makes it. It's the Spro EWG hook. It's the new nano coated. It's a little tweaked design, a little more Z bend in the neck there, but this thing is bad to the bone. And so, like I said, Gamakatsu makes that for him. 20-pound sunline shooter, because those fish would get me wrapped around in that, and I would just hold pressure and they would come right on out. And had a 7.6 cash-in medium heavy flipping stick, the Icon series. That is bread and butter. Love that reel, love that rod. The reel was the Daiwa Zillion SVTW in an 8.5 to 1. I like that high speed gear ratio. Makes you more efficient, and you can reel up all that slack that you need to before you set the hook. That was what I caught a bunch of those fish on. And then once I had probably close to 15 pounds. I had a 4-pounder mixed in there. I said, man, if I can just get 2 or 3 bigger largemouth bites the rest of the day, I'll be good to go. And, you know, it's kind of, in practice, I was kind of alternating between the two, and I ended up getting a little more confidence in the clutch darter in that perch color. I really think that's pretty. I also had this the 6-inch Buka Glide, and Jen Cravasi painted up this beautiful northern perch, this little ring perch looking color. Absolutely beautiful. But you know, the darter's a little bit bigger profile, and I think that darter has a really good perch profile as well. So that's what I ended up, I caught some fish on it, and the 2 ones that I needed, you know, 2 that were in the 4-pound range, hooked and came off. That's part of what happens when it's sunny and slick, and they really don't want to commit to it, and they just come up and nip at it. And you know, that was kind of frustrating, but I felt like I did kind of what I needed to do to give myself a chance. And then I kind of alternated. went out and caught smallmouth for a little bit, and I was just using a jig head minnow. I think a 3/8 head. I think I don't even know if I still have it tied on, but nothing that was really helping any. Wasn't feeling that. So then I ran to another area back on the New York side, and I was using a drop shot with a Missile Baits Magic Worm, the 6-inch. I mean, there's still a pile of them down here in the bottom of the boat, and this is the green pumpkin money colors, that green pumpkin with that gold vein in it, that to me is very, very, very perchy, very much a perch color. And that's what I think that's what a lot of the bigger smallmouth, all smallmouth and largemouth, they'll feed on. But that was the main deal for me on smallmouth days 1, and then even into day 2. Day 2, I pretty much just only fished for smallmouth. I had a shallow and a deep deal. I caught almost every single fish on that Magic Worm right there. Had a 2/0 Gamakatsu light wire. It's a G-Finesse light wire worm hook. That is a bad combination right there. I mean, that's a very, very high hooked to land ratio right there. And it's a little bigger profile bait. A lot of people are throwing little, you know, crappy baits on their drop shots. I was trying to get something a little bit bigger to get a little bit bigger grade of fish to commit to that thing. And man, I caught plenty of 2.5 to 3.5 pounders on it. I just didn't catch those bigger smallmouth that I was really looking for in order to move up. But on the leader, I had 8-pound Sunline Sniper. That was my leader material, and I was throwing the Spro tungsten longer drop shot weights. Those are really slick. I was alternating between a 1/2 ounce and a 3/8. I had a 1/4 ounce as well for fishing anything shallower, maybe around grass. But that that sinker right there, I really like it. And to me, when this thing was sinking to the bottom, no matter which size weight it looked like, to me, this rig looked like a perch chasing a little minnow, a little silver minnow, down to the bottom. And then the silver minnow disappears, and then there's the perch kind of sitting there looking around. So watching that on forward-facing sonar, you could see that drop shot going down. If you got it near one of those smallmouth, they would see that thing and they would shoot over there to it. And a lot of times you would just wait 2 or 3 seconds and then lift up, and it would be heavy, and they'd have that gamakatsu buried in the top of their mouth when you set the hook, got them in the boat. So that was kind of my combination on the drop shot. Of course, I was using the Cashin Rods Icon John Cruz drop shot rod. It's a counterbalanced rod. The weight fits nicely down here at the bottom. And I had a Daiwa ballistic reel. It's a 2500. I use a couple different ones, but this one I just had the 2500 on. Really like that reel. All the ballistics are really nice. Tatula, the newer Tatulas are pretty sweet as well. But then on the main line, on this one I had a 12-pound AMZ braid and had about a 20-foot leader. That AMZ braid is really good. I think that might be their best all-around braid. The Overwatch is really good. I really like that for throwing on the minnows. And then on the new All Might is the braid that's a denser. It sinks a little bit more. That's really good. But if you use it, I would use either 15 or 18. It's a very small diameter. I really like that braid. But you need to use a 15 or 18. Just a little tip thrown in there. But my other deal for the smallies mouths was the old Chatterwagon. This is not the jackhammer. This is the new Evo. I snagged a couple Evos, and they did me pretty good. I like the bigger. It has bigger eyes on it than the jackhammer. I like that, just slightly bigger, and it's still got a good hook in it. But this was just a green pumpkin. It had the Missile Baits Spunk Shad green pumpkin, 4.5 on the back. That was definitely the combination. And I caught some really big largemouth on this thing in practice, and I cannot believe that I did not have them committing to it. I had one chase it out of the water and boil. I saw the fish. It was in the 4-pound range. So I had the potential to have a really good bag on day one, and it was frustrating to be down in the bottom 10 when I had the fish on. It's not like I had a bunch of dinks. I mean, I had almost 16 pounds the first day, but still, it was just a absolute slugfest to get. The Elite Series is the best of the best, man. But I was on the chatterbait. I had 18-pound Sunline Shooter. That's my go-to almost all the times. Every once in a while, I'll drop down to 16 if I want to, keep the bait maybe a little bit deeper. But I had it on 18 right there. The Daiwa Zillion SVTW 7.1-to-1 gear ratio reel, and then I had the Cashin. This is the CK series, the kayak series. The CK series had this is called the Chattergrass rod. I really like this. I really like this rod. It's about the best chatterbait rod that I've thrown. Really like that guy right there. But that was how my Lake Champlain event went, and we're gonna regroup. We're already here at the St. Lawrence River. You can see that back behind me there, St. Lawrence River. So we're going to go ahead and get after it this week on the St. Lawrence. Champlain's behind us. I love that lake. I can't wait to go back, even though I didn't have the greatest event. The second day I had over 16 pounds, almost 16 and a half pounds of smallmouth, but just didn't get the right ones in the boat on day 2 as well. But we're going to go keep fighting and see if we can't do something a little special here on the St. Lawrence River.